Hi everybody, I'm a food rheologist and I am currently on sabbatical. While on sabbatical, I'm making a video series about rheology I find in everyday life. This video continues last week's video about the rheology of hair and hair care products. So today I have 3 different hair care products and they are all for managing split ends in your hair. Now, for those of you who did not see last week's video, my hair is long enough to sit on, and split ends are a very real thing, and the battle against them is quite fierce. Please note that I am not advertising any of these products. These are just some that I happen to use, and then I borrowed this one from my sister because it has different rheology than the ones I use. So let's take a look at the rheology of these 3 different products. We'll start with my sister's. So if you look at the bottom of this, and at the top, it has a really tall label, so it's hard to see the fluid, but you can see it sloshing right there. It's very fluid. It has a very low viscosity. And that's kind of nice because it pumps easily. So if we look at the dispensing nozzle here, it has a very small opening, and if you can see in the bottle, right about there, that's the dispensing tube. So the tube doesn't actually have to be that wide to get the product up it because the product is so thin that it pumps very easily. So you want a small nozzle, you want a thin tube so you don't dispense too much product at once. Here's the stuff I use at work in the morning. So yes, I put my hair up just like it is now, and I go to work like that, and then I take it down when I get to work, and a couple hours later I put this stuff into it. Why? Because my hair is slightly wet from the gym. And I want to make sure it's dry before I put this stuff in. So this is one of my products. It is a bit thicker than my sister's product. So if we unscrew the cap here, you can see down that hose, which is quite a bit thicker, you can see it dripping off the end. So we got a wider hose because we have a much thicker product. You can see it's dripping, but it's dripping very slowly. So it has a higher viscosity. It needs a wider tube to actually get to the dispensing nozzle. And there's the dispensing nozzle. It is wider compared to the nozzle here, which has a very small hole. So there's the difference between the two. So higher viscosity, you need a wider tube to actually get the fluid up the tube and through the nozzle, because otherwise you're just going to have to push down super hard, and that's not an enjoyable customer experience. And these things are designed so that the customer can use them very easily. You don't want to have to be basically mashing this thing like you're trying to pump a super soaker. Yes, I just totally dated myself. I'm a 90s kid. Super soakers are awesome. But there was a whole bunch of pumping required to pressurize those things up before you get water out of them. That's another rheology problem. Topic of a different video if I decide to make that one. But you want it to pump easily, so we have a larger dispensing system here so we can get the thicker fluid up. This stuff is thicker yet. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't open. But you can see here it has a rather wide nozzle up there, so it's almost a rectangular shape, because if we just dispense a little bit out here, this stuff actually has a yield stress. So it's very thick, and it needs a very wide tube and a wide nozzle opening so it can actually dispense properly. Now, because these have different viscosities, they are going to act differently when you put them in your hair. So let's just compare the 2 I use. I'm not going to use my sister's product. I won't be a jerk. So this one is the one from this bottle with the very wide opening. And the one from the orange bottle, you can see it has somewhat of a yield stress, but it's still going to run. And so that means if I were to put these in my hair, which I can do, so if I take the runnier one and put it through my hair, let's get a chunk of hair going here. You can see how long my hair is. I'm not kidding about the split ends. They are a pain. So if I take this runnier product and I rub it through my hair, it goes in really easily. And so my hair now, you can see those top strands look kind of wet. And that's because the product is actually wetting my hair. And so I can feel right now that my hair is wet. And it takes a few minutes of just kind of sliding my hand along my hair for that wet feeling to go away. So pro tip, if you're not sure your product's all the way in your hair, if your hair goes from feeling cold to feeling smooth, your product's all the way in. Because that cold, that is actually a very interesting thing I learned from a conference on Rheology, that hair just feels like that when you put certain products in it and it gets wet. So cold hair feels wet. Dry hair is about room temperature. And there is a thermodynamic reason for that, but here I can feel my hair is not feeling so cold anymore, and it's going from wet to smooth, and that's the product kicking in. The water is evaporating off, and all that's left is the whatever oils, silicones, things like that they put in to make my hair feel nice and smooth. Alright, so now we have this yield stress stuff, which very obligingly stayed on my hand because it has a yield stress. Even at body temperature on my hand, it's staying there. It's not really going anywhere. So if I take a different little bit of hair and I put this in my hair, so it actually doesn't really feel wet because it has a different composition. But as I'm working it through my hair, I can feel where it is more. It doesn't quite feel as light as the other product. Now, why is that? Because the viscosity of this product is a lot higher. And so I'm going to feel the film more as I'm working it into my hair. It has a thicker film because it has a higher viscosity. So if you like products that you can feel them in your hair, you feel them doing something, go for a product with a higher viscosity. You'll be able to feel it as you're putting it in your hair. If you have very fine hair or you don't like that product feeling in your hair, go for a product with lower viscosity because the film it leaves in your hair is going to be much thinner. It's not going to feel like your hair is being weighed down. And if you have fine hair, I have fairly fine hair, it doesn't feel like your hair is now stuck to your head with product. So those are all rheological things to keep in mind when you're getting your hair product. So which one is my favorite? This stuff, because it totally glues those split ends back together and it makes my hair feel really soft. I just have to put up with kind of heavy hair until it soaks all the way in, which I can easily ignore because I wear my hair up most of the time. If you have long hair, you know what a heat sink it is. And so having all this hair all the way down my back in the summer, it's currently summer here, it's fairly warm. So I pull it up, and that way I have this product in my hair, but I ignore it by the time I take my hair down. It's all soaked in, my hair feels normal, and there we go. Good hair, fewer split ends with this stuff. I do like using this in the morning because it works in pretty quickly. And so at work, I don't want to be spending 15 minutes doing beauty shop. So this works in the morning. This is my sister's stuff. I can ask them how much it works. But typically when I'm spraying things, I don't want to go all over the place because I'm going to annoy my coworkers to death with my crazy hair shop smells. That happens with this stuff anyway. So I don't really want a whole bunch of aerosol all over the place. If I'm doing things in my hair, I want the product directly in my hair. The small droplets with low viscosity tend to create an aerosol. And so that's why hairspray, for example, has very low viscosity, so it can aerosolize easily, get all the little droplets all over your head, and spread the way it's supposed to. But ultimately, hair care products are a personal choice, so think about what the viscosity of your hair care products is like. Think about how you want your hair to feel and make your decision accordingly.